Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm JuggleBookie. I do lots of games like Civ, Prison Architect, Loadout, KSP, Heroes and Generals, Skyrim, War Thunder and many more. But today we're going to be playing Payday 2. Over the next few weeks I'll be putting out skill builds for Payday 2 regularly, and our first one is the All-Purpose Technician. I'll be telling you the best guns to use and all the skills you need. So let's get started. Okay, first you want to go into skills, and here we have the Technician tree. So, you want to unlock the Technician, quite obviously, and this gives 2 trip mines to your inventory, which is really great. Then we want to get Demolition Man aced, which adds 1 more trip mine to your inventory. That's 3 trip mines, and if you ace that, it decreases your trip mine deployment time by 20%. It's really great. It's going to speed up things quite a lot when you're putting down trip mines, quite evidently. Then the tier bonus for that is your cost of weapons and mass crafting is reduced by 1%. Not really so useful if you've got lots of cash like me, but who cares? Hardware Expert, basic, you fix the drill 25% faster, and you also deploy trip mines 20% faster. If you ace that out, gives your drill a 30% chance to auto restart when it breaks down. You also deploy the sentry gun 50% faster. Unfortunately in this build, we're not going to be using the sentry gun because we don't have enough points to put there, but hey ho, who cares? Combat Engineer allows you to turn the trip mines on or off. And Ace, this is really useful, upgrades your trip mines with a sensor mode. Really useful, because instead of wasting trip mines blowing up enemies, you can set the trip mine to a sensor mode, and it'll tell you when there's enemies coming through. You can actually go there, kill them yourself, and A, get the kills, B, get the increased accuracy, and C, it doesn't waste trip mines. So really useful. Sharpshooter, this is a must on most of my builds. Basic, you're 20% more accurate with all single shot weapons, and if you ace that out, your weapon stability is increased with rifles by 25%. That's really sweet increase. That actually increases the accuracy of your pistols, shotguns, snipers. Really great. This helps no matter what weapons you're using, so really wonderful. We're mostly going to be using rifles though, which is why we got that aced. The tier bonus is your weapon stability with all weapons is increased by 5%, which is really great. Now Drill Sergeant, basic, your drilling efficiency is increased by 15%, and if you ace that out, which we are, further increases your drilling efficiency by 15%. That's a 30% increase to your drilling efficiency. That's going to make things so much quicker when you're drilling. And the tier bonus for this tier is your cost of weapons and mass crafting is reduced by 3%. Again, not so much of a worry for me, but maybe for you, so it's helpful to have. Okay, the next tier, Silent Drilling. Basic, and this is all we're going to get, your drill makes 65% less noise, civilians and guards are less likely to hear your drill and sound the alarm. Really great when you're doing things like bank heist or the end of Firestarter and the drill's in the back, the vault's in the back, sorry. If you put the drill in the back, you don't actually have to deal with all the tellers, people at the front. If you're feeling lazy that day, you can just leave them alone, take out the back and problem solve. Really nice to have. And of course, you know, you don't get people alerted miles away and you have to run to them in a rush, take them down. Really helps, makes things much more convenient. Tier bonus for this tier is also increases your headshot damage by 25%. Really great. Should be aiming for the head anyway, so only help you out. Blast Radius, I've aced this out, but basic, the radius of trip mine explosions are increased by 25%, and ace, the radius is further increased by 75%. That's 100% bonus to your trip mine radius and basic damage, which is really great. With this and this, which gives 3 more trip mines to your inventory, that's 6 trip mines which can one-shot bulldozers. That's 6 trip mines or a whole lot of enemies dead. Absolutely brilliant. 6 bulldozers taken out, job done, no problem. Okay, and if you ace this out, which we are, trip mines can now be converted to shape charges used to breach certain safes and doors. This is really why we're going into this tree. This speeds up things so much. Really helps to have. Helpful on Firestarter. Really helps with almost every single mission you can think of. Definitely something worth having. And we've gone one step further. The tier bonus unlock before we go there is the cost of weapons and mask crafting is reduced by 5%. Again, it's the same sort of thing along here. Not so useful, but if you're running low on cash, it'll do quite nicely. Okay, Bulletproof. Increases your armor so you can absorb 50% more damage, and if you ace this out, which we have, the armor recovery rate of you and your crew is increased by 25%. It's absolutely sick skill to have, because the armor, if you have 50% more armor, that means even your suit, even your lightweight ballistic vest, still packs quite a lot of damage which you can absorb before you start taking out your health. Really nice. And the armor recovery rate of you and your crew also very helpful. With the tier bonus of all weapons stability being increased by 5%, you gain 10% more armor, and reduces your armor recovery rate of you and your crew by 10%. That's already 35% decrease of your armor recovery rate, plus plus 10% more armor. That's 60% more armor on all of your armor. That's really, really sweet. So that's it for Technician. Next we're going to go on to Enforcer. So of course you want to unlock Enforcer for 1 point. Then you want to use all four points for Transporter, which is, it's a real must. Every single build has to have this. Otherwise it's just, you know, Payday 2 is basically, when you simplify it down, moving bags around. You move bags 50% faster when carrying bags. Ace that out, you can now throw bags 50% further. That's going to halve instantly the time it takes for Firestarter, pretty much. And then when you also have Die Hard, you can use your primary weapon to bleed out. Really, really useful. I do this a lot. And when you ace this out, your armor recovers 15% faster. You're probably not going to go into bleed out, to be honest, because when you have 15% plus the 25%, which is already 40%, plus the 5%, that's 45% increase to how long your damage is going to, how long your armor is going to take to heal up, which is really, really nice. And of course the tier bonus for this is enemies are 10% more easily threatened by you, helps with dominating, and you gain 10% more health. Really, really nice thing to have. So next up we go, let's go Ghost. Okay, unlocking the Ghost. Of course you need to unlock the Ghost to go further into the tree, so do that. And this gives you 1 ECM jammer, which will last 20 seconds. Really nice to have. And we go into Sprinter. The time before stamina regeneration starts is reduced by 25%, and the generation rate of stamina is increased by 25%. It means you can sprint long, and with Ace, your sprint speed is increased by 25%, and you have 25% better chance of dodging enemy fire while sprinting. It means, basically, you can sprint longer faster, which is really, really nice. Now, next point, I was a bit unsure about. Again, this is entirely up to you what you want to do with this point. I needed 1 more point to get up top when we move later on, but you can spend it lower down. Either get Dead President Basic, Martial Arts Basic, or Cat Burglar. Now thinking about it later on, I should probably got Cat Burglar because Cat Burglar helps a lot with frame when you're jumping from high places to take out guards quickly if there's a bit of a problem. It really helps a lot. I mean, it's a bit inconvenient when you're jumping from high places and dying, so this helps heaps and heaps. And the tier bonus for this is your chance to dodge is increased by 5%. Really, really nice. Okay, the next tier, Fast Hands. You can pack and interact with loot bags 25% faster. Like I said before, the game is basically moving bags, so when you can move them faster, you can get more money faster. When you ace that out, further increases your pack and interaction speed with loot bags by 50%. Again, same basic principle. When you get Chameleon, just basic. In case mode, you can now mark guards, cameras, and your concealment is increased by 25%. This is a must. You have to be able to mark guards, and you have to be able to mark cameras, even when you're not stealthing it. Before you go loud, you might want to get in a nice position, and to know that there's enemies where you're moving to is so useful. This is a real must for all my builds too. The good thing with concealment increased by 25%, after this little input into the ghost tree, we're going to instantly be able to get 3 detection, which is really nice when we're ghosting too. So remember, this is all purpose. We'll be able to do every single thing. We'll be able to ghost really nicely. We're going to be able to blow doors, move through loud missions really, really quickly. We're going to be able to heal our guys. We're going to be able to dominate. We're going to be able to stay tank, not die too much. It's going to be a really, really sweet build. I use it all the time. Next up, going Cleaner. You deal 5% more damage against special enemies. You can now buy a body bag asset which contains 3 body bags. Things like Big Bang, when you need loads and loads and loads of body bags, if you're messing up or if you're doing random stuff, you definitely need the body bag asset. Very useful. You deal 5% more damage against special enemies. Again, if you can take out bulldoze any faster, or tasers any faster, why not have it? Really, really useful. And the tier bonus for this is the time between swapping weapons is reduced to by 20%. You've got a sniper, some enemy comes close, you want to pull out your locomotive, you can do it 20% faster. That's 20% less time that the enemy takes to damage you, which is really, really great. Okay, moving on to the next tier, SMG Specialist. Increase your reload speed of SMG weapons by 35%, and ace that out, increases your rate of fire with SMGs by 20%. This is really, really good. We're going to be using SMGs as our secondary weapons for probably both stealth and loud weapons, so this is really useful. And then we're going to go into Shinobi. This is pretty much a must for ghosting, so we'll definitely include this into our build. Basic owned, your walk speed is increased by 25% and your crouch speed is increased by 10%. That's all nice and dandy, but we're really getting this for ace. Enemies make 95% less noise when shot or melee to death. Really great. And the tier bonus for this is increase your chance to dodge by 10%. When you're sprinting, that's 25% decrease to dodge, plus the chance to dodge increased by 10. That's 35% when you're sprinting, plus the stuff that we'll get here. Really, really nice. You basically won't go down. If you're sprinting, you basically won't even get hit, to be honest. Really, really nice. Now we're going to go to the next tier, ECM Specialist. Basic, you can now place 2 ECM jammers instead of just 1. Really, really useful. Again, you're going to be a real team player after this build. When you have 2 ECM jammers, it's going to make ECM rushing much, much easier. You're going to have a lot longer time, you're going to be under less pressure to get things over and done with. You can take your time, and you can help the team out a lot by carrying 2 ECM jammers instead of just 1. Okay, that's it for the Ghost tree. We're going to move on to the Mastermind tree, which is our very last tree for this build. Okay, unlocking the Mastermind. Of course, you want to unlock the Mastermind. This gives you 1 Doctor Bag, which has 2 charges. It's pretty basic. Unfortunately, in this build, we're not going to be going into 4 charges per bag, simply because we don't have enough points. Now, next up, we're going Cable Guy. You can cable tie house just 75% faster, increases your supply of cable ties by 4 when you ace that out. This is a must for all my builds yet again, because when you can basically halve the amount of hostages who need cable tying, on your own, it makes it much, much easier. It means your friends don't have to spend as much time cable tying civs. Much, much nicer than just running around slowly killing civs because you can't cable tie them. Really, really nice to have. Good for stealthing and good for loud because it means you get less heat. Okay, endurance increases your stamina by 100%, and when you ace that out, increases your stamina for you and your crew by 50%. There's a 150% increase to your stamina. If you plus that with Ghost, with your sprinter, you're going to be running so fast for so long, it's going to be unbelievable. Okay, and you're going to be dodging while you're doing that too, so it's insane. Also, the tier bonus increases your Doctor Bag interaction speed by 20%. That's useful to have when you're going to be carrying 2 Doctor Bags, and you'll be getting onto that later. Leadership on the next tier. You and your crew's weapon stability with pistols increased by 25%. Again, we're not really going to be using pistols, but what we're really getting into the skill for is acing this out. You and your crew's stability with all weapons is increased by 50%. Very, very useful. No matter the weapon, increased stability. Very, very useful. Okay, you'd probably be wondering why I've gone into Fast Learner. Now, I'll be doing a leveling guide later on, some point this week maybe. But basically why this is here is because this is how I level. I've just leveled to 100, which is why I've started doing the skill builds now. And this is a must-have if you're leveling. Now, if you're not leveling, if you're level 100 like me, hence why you're looking at this build probably, you'll probably want to be going somewhere else. Now, I suggest you going into Combat Medic or Equilibrium, but considering we're not going to be using a pistol for our primary, I mean, it really depends on your preference. If you want to go into Combat Medic, it's going to help out your team a lot when you're healing them, and it also gives you that damage bonus 10 seconds after you heal, which is nice. But if you prefer pistols, prefer using pistols, you can certainly go into this and deal some damage with pistols. Okay, the tier bonus is increased stamina for you and your crew by 15%. Again, that's going to help. Sprinting around, running around, going to be a lot faster, a lot better. Okay, the next tier, Spotter. Special enemies marked by you take 15% more damage. Would like to ace this out, but don't have any points. Still, really basic is absolutely sweet. Special enemies marked by you take 15% more damage. With that 5% of standard all enemies, no matter if you spot them or not, taking more damage. If you plus this with the 15% damage, that's 20% more damage on bulldozers, tasers, cloakers. You're going to be taking them out so much faster. It's going to be really great. Definitely a skill I would get if it wasn't so hard in Masterminds for all of my builds. Really good skill. Okay, we're going to move across to Dominator. Basic and Ace, you're going to get. You and your crew can now intimidate a non-special enemy into a hostage. Less well-trained enemies are easier to intimidate, quite obviously. If you ace that out, the power and range of your intimidation is increased by 50%. And with the tier bonus unlocked, increase your shout distance by 25% again. Sorry, I meant 50%. Then that's 75% increased range. And that's also increased power, which means you can intimidate further and much harder enemies, which is really great. Of course, we're going to be putting some threat modifications on our weapons to increase the easiness that you can dominate enemies, and also speed, so you're not in fire for a long time. Okay, the very last skill on this build is Combat Doctor. You can now place 2 doc bags instead of just 1. It's going to help out your team a lot when you've got 4 charges to give your entire team. It's going to be much nicer for them. They can heal up whenever they want. It's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. Okay, we're going to be going into the inventory now for our weapons. We're going to only be choosing weapons which complement the build which we've just done. So the weapon that I'd suggest for going loud is the Commando 533 rifle. To be honest, I'd suggest this with most builds. Such a nice weapon. Okay, long barrel, a must-have really. +2 damage, +2 accuracy. Competitor's compensator, +5 damage, +2 accuracy, +2 stability, +1 threat. Helps with dominating, only a little bit, but why not? If you really want to go for the extra damage because you think you can handle the recoil, which isn't much to be honest on the basic model anyway. +10 damage, -2 concealment, who cares, +12 threat, it's really good for dominating, and also with that +10 damage you can take out enemies much easier. Good for conserving ammo even, when you can take out enemies with fewer bullets. Very helpful, but of course less bullets will be on target, so gotta balance it out. I went for the competitor's compensator, but it's really your choice. Custom, whatever you want, it's your preference. I'd go for the auto fire more than single shot because the damage on this weapon isn't that good. But auto fire is pretty sweet. +2 damage, +1 stability, -2 accuracy, but who gives a fuck. Rail foregrip, +4 stability, -2 concealment. No one cares about concealment, so of course you want to be adding that +4 stability. Really nice. Makes the weapon much more stable. Gadget, I'd go for tactical laser module. Really, you want to be going for military laser module, to be honest, because you give it that laser light, that laser and the light. So in big oil, you know, you can find information much easier in the dark. It's really nice mod. I just modded it somewhere else, so get that if you can. Otherwise, go for military laser module. Grip, get the enhanced grip. I don't have it, so obviously it's not equipped on mine. But if you've got it, definitely equip it. Sight, the mil-spec scope, probably the nicest scope in the game. I absolutely love this scope. Put it on your best weapon, put it on your favourite weapon if you've got it, because it's so sweet. Absolutely love it. Okay, stock, water on stock, +4 accuracy, that compensates for the minus in accuracy beforehand. -1 stability, that's kind of leveled out by all the other attachments too, and by some of our perks, which is really nice. -2 concealment, no one cares. And then I went for the upper receiver. This is an unusual choice. You don't have to take it if you don't care too much about the appearance of your weapon, but +2 damage, that's alright. Concealment +4, we're not using this as a stealth weapon, so it's pretty useless. -2 accuracy, it hurts the weapon a bit, but with this mod, the weapon looks really nice. Really nice looking little primary weapon. I love it a lot, and I use it a lot too. So the next thing we're going to be going into is a secondary weapon. Secondary I'd go for is the either the Para submachine gun or the Combat 5 submachine gun. I'll cover the Combat 5 submachine gun because this is what I use the most and find most effective. We're going for these more over shotguns and pistols because we have those modifications which benefit submachine guns. You could go into pistols if you did choose to go for the pistol skills in the Mastermind tree instead of the Fast Learner, but that's really up to you. So Combat 5 submachine gun. Competitor's compensator, I use this most of all for barrel exits more than any other, but again it's really your preference. Custom, auto fire all the way. Single fire, pretty useless on a submachine gun. Auto fire benefits quite a lot. Foregrip, police high tactical barrel, +2 stability. Why the hell not? Gadget, this is where I equipped it. Military laser module. Like I said before, helps for information on big oil. If you're doing that, it just helps in general in lots of situations. And you've also got the laser too, so it's good to have both those on one weapon. It means you don't have to switch out. Okay, the sight is your preference entirely. I went for the speculator sight simply because I think it suits this weapon. It's more of a close quarters weapon, to be honest, and it's a nice sight. It's a nice sight. The stock for this weapon is the adjustable stock plus your concealment. I've only gone for this not because I want more concealment, but because it's better than nothing. You know. Here's the look of the weapon. Not a bad looking weapon. Pretty dark. I like it though. So, now we're going to be going into stealthing weapons, because of course we've got 13 points in Ghost, so we want specific weapons for stealthing. Now, we'll be using again the Commander 553 rifle. I think it's really flexible, and of course flexible is the name of this build. Really flexible weapon. So we're going to be going into this. No long barrel because it increases the concealment, minuses the concealment even. You want to go for the low profile suppressor because it suppresses and doesn't decrease the concealment. It doesn't, yeah, decrease the concealment. Auto fire or single fire. Wouldn't go for auto fire because you don't want to be spraying around, breaking windows, that kind of thing. If anything, I'd go for single fire. But I've kept it flexible, you know, in case there's a combat situation where maybe I've screwed up sometime and I still need to fight with this weapon, then keeping it flexible is really good. I wouldn't go for the railed foregrip or the enhanced foregrip because, you know, they're minusing your concealment both occasions, and that's not something good you want on your primary weapon for stealth. Combat laser module, I'd always get this on any stealth weapon because it doesn't minus your concealment, but when, you know, there's a dodgy situation where you can't be bothered to switch to your sight, which you don't have on this weapon, hip fire is so much more accurate with this. You can see where you're firing before you even have to go into sight. Very useful. Enhanced grip, I would get this again. Oh no, I wouldn't get this. Concealment -2, you don't want to get it. It's not worth the -2 concealment for that little +1 stability. Don't get a sight on this. It'll only increase your concealment if it only decrease your concealment if you really want one. You can get one though. Okay, the wide stock +1 concealment. Why the hell not? Upper receiver. Obviously, I went for the heat treated body +4 concealment, +2 damage, -2 accuracy. But accuracy isn't a problem when you're taking things slow when you're stealthing it. Okay, that's it for the primary weapon. We're going to be going on to the secondary weapon now. The Swedish K machine gun. Probably, in my opinion, the sweetest secondary stealth weapon. Look at that detection risk. The moment I equip it, instantly 3 detection risk. Very, very nice weapon. It's a submachine gun too, which means it's going to be benefited by all of our skills. Grease barrel, +3 concealment. Barrel exit, low profile suppressor yet again. Combat laser module, always get it. Grip, ergo grip, +2 stability, +2 accuracy, why the hell not? Don't get the extended mag. Sight, don't bother unless you really want one. Follow the stock, this is where most of the plus concealment is at. +6 concealment, -5 stability, but again you can take it slow, take your time to aim. You're not going to be taking many shots anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much. And upper receiver, don't bother with the Swedish body unless you really want to. The concealment is -1, so I wouldn't go for it. This setup is so strong, you can carry lightweight ballistic vest and still have a detection risk of 3, which means even if you do fuck up at some point, you'll still have nice armor to keep you up and running. So this is the all-purpose technician build. I've covered everything you'll need to know about this build, and like, comment, subscribe, comment on what build you want next week, and I guess I'll see you guys.